All right, guys, thanks for jumping on tonight. We have our very own Gloria talking to us tonight. She is going to be talking to us about vulnerability and sharing your struggles, which I struggle with. So I'm actually really excited to be talking about this, and I know it's gonna help me. So I've got my pen and paper here, and I am ready to hear it, girl. You want to start off with your story too, and just kind of give everyone some background? I know we've all kind of gotten to know each other a little bit more, but you just want to.
Yeah, sure. I know we've shared a lot over the last few weeks with each other, which I've loved because we've gotten to know each other so much better. So that's kind of why I wanted to do this as my topic, because I feel like since we've learned so much about each other and learned that all of us have struggles, we've learned that everyone else has struggles too. You know, if you just look at our sample and our little group, like we represent a lot of different things and no one's life is perfect, right? So I wanted to talk about us, like, since we've identified a lot of those struggles, learning how to share them more effectively with people. So just a little bit about my story. I've been overweight for pretty much my entire life. I just hit a size 8, and I remember, I don't think I was even ever a size 8 in middle school, which, that's just, tracking it for me. The first time I was really teased about my weight that I remember, and I don't remember a lot from my childhood, but this sticks out, which tells you that it, meant a lot, was, 3rd grade. I think I've told you guys that before. So it just tells you, it's been a constant issue. Growing up, we didn't have a lot of money, so it was a lot of just we would eat Hungry Howie's at least one night a week. We would do spaghetti with super low grade, high fat meat and your Walmart brand spaghetti noodles or whatever. So I was just raised on not eating very healthy. My mom just kind of, if I didn't want to eat my vegetables, she pretty much let us do what we wanted. So she was kind of lucky that I wonder if she's going to watch this. Sorry, Mom. But she's kind of lucky that, I made a lot of good choices on my own in terms of a lot of things. But so I grew up I hate vegetables. I hate this. I hate that. I was really self-conscious about my body. I never would wear shorts because I was afraid of what people were going to think of me. I've always hated my arms. I've never wanted to wear sleeveless shirts or anything like that. I would deny, I'd get invited to pool parties in the beach and I would just make up excuses not to go, or say I'm not a beach person, even though I love the beach, just because I was embarrassed of how I looked. And I missed out on a lot of stuff. I didn't even take my kids to do that kind of stuff because I was embarrassed. We used to stay inside a lot in the summer because I didn't want to wear shorts in public and I was too hot in pants, so it was a lot of mental for me. So I, learned how to joke around and how to be sarcastic and kind of use that to get people to like me, because I was oh, people aren't going to like me because of how I look and my size and stuff like that. And so I've tried a lot of stuff. I've tried Weight Watchers. I've tried counting calories. I've tried going to the gym. I tried a Jillian Michaels at home DVD program. I did lose quite a bit of weight on my own leading up to my wedding back in 2013. But it just wasn't in a sustainable way because I was doing Weight Watchers and counting calories and I just always felt deprived. And my reason was because I wanted to look good on my wedding day. It wasn't about my quality of life or how I felt. I didn't really feel that much better because of the way I was going about it. So it was pretty much as soon as we got married and we ate like shit our whole honeymoon, we just never got back on it after that. And, we definitely got better because we learned some stuff, but we never, we never learned how to eat healthy like we do now. So I've paid for gym memberships, never gone, all that kind of stuff. So basically when I was pregnant with my daughter, I knew that I wanted to make a change after she was born. I said the same thing about my son and we got a little better, but I was no, I really want to make a change. And I knew I was going to be staying home. So when I would see Jen's posts, I was she lost quite a bit of weight doing this. And, she's able to bring in some extra money staying home with her kids. And she just seems so happy. Maybe that's for me. So I reached out to Jen about it, and she was really awesome. She kept up with me during my pregnancy. Like, we were out of our house when I was like 30 weeks pregnant, pretty much until like 3 weeks before my baby was born, because we had mold in our house that we had to get taken out. So it was a super stressful time. I ate out a lot during that time, formed really bad habits at the end of my pregnancy because it was just easier to do at that time. So then, like January 3rd, I messaged Jen and I was like, okay, I'm ready. And she sent me the link and I signed up, and I struggled at the beginning. I restarted 21 Day Fix a couple of times. But then I stuck to it, and then I didn't really do the meal plan at first because it seemed annoying and tedious, and I was breastfeeding, and I was like, oh, I need more calories than that to breastfeed. I'm just not going to follow it. It was really like July before we went to Summit that I really started following the meal plan. It was because we started this little group of coaches because we all wanted to, get in our best shape for Summit. And it was really that accountability that helped me start doing that. So when I added the diet changes in, it really helped me. And then just being a coach and doing personal development, I mean, I've grown so much more over this last year than I ever would have at a full-time job, just personally. And I think I've developed a lot of skills that would always translate into any job and stuff like that. And I found something I'm passionate about. Like, I didn't have any passion. I worked at a credit union that I started in high school as a teller, and I was like, oh, this will get me through college. And then when I was in college, I didn't really get any help monetarily, so I started working full-time at the credit union, and then I started slacking off at school and never got my bachelor's, and so I just stayed at the credit union for almost 10 years because it was safe and because I was comfortable. And Beachbody and my daughter like really saved my life, because if it weren't for having my daughter and this opportunity, I would still be at the credit union and not having any goals, just trying to think about what miserable job there I could do next, because I kind of had reached the highest level I was really wanting at that credit union. And so I just felt stuck and like I had no purpose. So I'm like someone who has so much purpose now, and I'm so much happier and healthier. So I said I was going to be short on that, and I wasn't, but that's fine. But just I'm in such a completely different place than I was. And I've, through personal development and reflection and just looking back on my life, I've realized a lot of stuff, because, when you're young and you're living it, that's normal. Like, it's just normal. You think everybody has a life like that. Maybe not everything that happens, but a lot of it, it's just how you learn. It's how you learn to be, and that's how you learn to adapt to situations. And I learned so much about, just kind of keeping quiet and pleasing other people, because my brother was so dominating and would get into so much rage when things wouldn't go his way, that that's kind of how I was taught, was like to keep other people happy. So that was always my priority. And I would always have friends in every social group because I could adapt to anyone I was hanging out with. Like, what was my identity? So I'm still working on that, but so that's my story, I guess, is what I'll say for now. So in terms of sharing your struggles, the reason I want to talk about this, like I said, was because we've been talking a lot about our struggles in recent calls. And I noticed a big change in my business when I went from just posting my sweaty selfies or my videos and recipes to actually talking about my journey and my struggles. And it's hard, because it's hard to share your struggles with people because those things are personal. And you also have to think about other people it might affect, like friends, family, and that kind of stuff. I know we've talked about that in the past too. So, you don't need to share everything, and you don't have to share everything at once either. Like, I remember I had this coach friend who all she was supposed to do is like tell her story, and why she became a coach. And she could not get her video to under an hour because she wanted to share like every little thing that's ever happened to her in one video. But if we're in this for the long haul, we're going to have a long time to share our struggles with people. We don't have to share it all at once, and that would be really overwhelming to feel like we had to do that. And you can breadcrumb things. Like, even if there's some things that you never think you're going to share publicly, that is your choice. You have to feel ready to share these things, because when you share something that's a struggle publicly, you're going to be overwhelmed with emotion. So you obviously need to be ready to do it, but also, you have to step outside your comfort zone to really grow. And something else I've learned is not to minimize your struggles. Like, I used to think like, oh, I've never had some like catastrophic one-time event happen to me. Like, who am I to talk about what I've been through when there's people who've been through so much worse than me? But that it doesn't mean that you haven't had struggles, because we all have, and our struggles have made us who we are today. So don't minimize what you've been through, because just because someone else has been through something seemingly worse doesn't mean that you don't have a right to have feelings about what you've been through and how it's affected your life. So that's something that I had to learn, because I was always really bad about that. So I want to talk about why it's important to share your struggle, and then a little formula to kind of help you for when you're ready to share something. And then I have a little challenge for everyone at the end. So first thing is that, it really helps you to share what you're going through with other people, because first of all, just getting it out there, putting it into words. Like, I don't know if any of you journal, but sometimes if you just sit down and start writing about something, you start to realize all of these other things, and your brain just goes a million places. And I've noticed, like, when I'm writing down anything I'm struggling with, like, I have these different epiphanies, and I learn more about the situation and more about how it affected me, and it helps me heal. And then from sharing it, you get people that reach out to you who say they've been through the same thing. So it helps you, first of all, know that you're not alone, because you know that there are other people out there who have been in similar situations. But it also helps you turn your struggle into something positive, because, you're able to help someone else who's been through something similar learn that they're not alone either. And, hopefully when you're sharing something, you're going to share somehow how you've overcome that situation. So you're sharing how you've overcome it, how you've overcome it. And so then other people know, oh, I've been through something similar or the same thing. And if she can overcome it, then there's hope for me. So it can really make you feel fulfilled, because you're helping others that have similar situations to you. And it really makes you relatable to people, because honestly, like, no one believes that perfect is real. So if you're not sharing any type of struggle of like what you're currently struggling with, I mean, even if I know some of us are really great, I've probably seen on everyone's, workout posts that every now and then you didn't want to get up that morning, but you did it anyway. Or, even that is relatable in a struggle, and it's awesome to share those types of things too. But, no one's going to believe, like, if you're just like, oh, I want to work out every single day and I never struggle with wanting to work out and, stuff like that. Like, oh, whatever, Jen. And sometimes you say, I didn't want to get up today or whatever. I can't hear you because you're muted, but, I can tell you're laughing because you think I'm talking about you. But yeah, so it makes you relatable to people, because especially people who aren't on a health and fitness journey or are looking for answers, if they just see someone, oh, well, she can do it, but I can't. She doesn't know my struggles. She doesn't know what I'm going through. So it just makes you relatable to people, and it helps you find your tribe. So you're going to attract people who are similar to you, because people who are similar to you, you're going to be able to help them more, because you're going to understand them more. So they're going to stick around longer, especially when it comes to coaches. And it's kind of like the exercise Jen had us do, where she had us say what attracted us to her. You're never going to, you might not find people exactly like you in every single aspect, but there's going to be something about you that attracts them to you. So everyone's different, but you're going to be able to find that common ground with people a little bit easier if you're sharing that struggle and being a little more relatable. So, your struggle should be part of your story. And when you're telling your story, I found, and I have this like little formula that you can follow for when you're posting about it. Because one thing you don't want to do is just say, woe is me, this happened to me, and end it there. Like, you don't want to just say all a bunch of negative stuff and stop, because, we're all working on ourselves mentally. We're all working on ourselves physically. And, we're all trying to find the way to see that positivity through our struggles. So we want to be that light for people. So you don't just want to stop it at something negative. One of, who is it? I think it's Brendan Burchard, who's going to be a keynote speaker at Summit. If anyone's going to Summit, I'm super excited about him. He's super inspirational. Follow his podcast. Anyway, he has this whole thing about honoring your struggle and about learning how your struggles make you who you are. So, you know, I know it's hard to not look back on life and say, I wish that didn't happen to me, or, you know, it's awful that that happened to me. But if you actually look at how that awful situation shaped you into a person, you definitely gained strengths through that negative situation. Like Tony Robbins, for example, like his mom used to beat him. He was verbally, physically abused, and now he's like the biggest inspirational speaker on the planet. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. He was able to take all of those awful things and turn it into something positive. And he says, he's like, and I love my mom. He's like, I would not be the man I am today if she hadn't done those things to me, which I know that probably takes people a really long time to get to that point, because that's rough and that's deep and shit. But, you know, it's just, there are positive things that can come out of the hard times. And if you can't change the hard times, you can find the silver lining, and you can understand that you're going to grow, even if you're going through something hard. So I have like a little 3-step formula. So for sharing your story and your struggles, the first step is to have a trial-filled history. So to share all of the different, you know, at least one big trial you've been through. And, you know, the messier, the better in terms of it being relatable. It's just like, I don't know if any of you saw like Emily Favre, Emily Christine on Facebook. She shared about her miscarriage. And I think she said it happened a few months ago, but she just felt comfortable sharing it. And she shared it with the intention of helping other people who have been through that and understanding they're not alone, and really explaining to people who maybe haven't been through it how it feels to go through it. I mean, it was so emotional just reading her post. And, you know, it ended up going viral for her. And, you know, that's not why she posted it at all. Just like, you know, Ashley didn't post her self-love soldier belly picture with the intention of going viral. She even said she posted it at like the time of week and day that normally she doesn't get a lot of traction. You know, their intentions were just to help people and to share what they're struggling with. But the purity of their struggles and how they shared it related to so many people, they went viral, and it really is translating into their business too. So even if their intention wasn't to, you know, get a bunch of money from people to sign up for Beachbody, you know, their intention was to help people, but it still positively affected their business. So, you know, starting with the struggles that you've had, or the main struggle you've had that you're wanting to tackle in your post, is how you want to start it out. And then you kind of want to weave in there how Beachbody came into your life. Because I know, at least personally, through personal development, which I never even would have thought about doing without Beachbody, I've overcome a whole lot of my struggles. And then even just like being an emotional eater, like happy, let's celebrate and eat some food, sad, I'm going to eat my feelings, stressed out, I'm going to eat, bored, I'm going to eat because there's nothing else to do. Like, that's me, right? So that's a struggle that I've overcome that I wouldn't have without personal development and Beachbody and learning how to eat the right way. I mean, there's so many different types of struggles that our turning point, for me at least, was Beachbody. And I'm sure there's some things for you guys too. So you want to weave in there how Beachbody came into your life, and then how Beachbody has helped with those issues, how, you know, you've been able to turn it around. So I could say, you know, growing up and throughout my adult life, I was a big emotional eater, and, you know, I medicated myself with food no matter what my feeling was. And I was always eating, and I was never thinking about what was going into my mouth. And, you know, then Beachbody came into my life, and I learned how to eat balanced, and I learned how to eat a lot of food, but eat the right food, so I still didn't feel deprived. I worked on my mind through personal development, so I learned how to deal with my emotions in other ways. And, you know, now I have much better control over my emotional eating. It's still hard sometimes. Like this weekend, I was super stressed, definitely ate a little more than I usually do, but the difference is that I caught myself, and I it wasn't as bad as it used to be. And it's hard to break a lifetime habit, you know? But, you know, just show your growth. And if you can tie Beachbody and your business or any part of Beachbody, your physical, mental, anything transformation, that can help show people how Beachbody can help them too. Of course, you don't always have to tie Beachbody in there. You know, I don't think Emily was like, you know, if it weren't for Beachbody, I would be crying still about my lost baby. You know, you don't have to share that, but it's a really good way to show people how this has changed your life. Because hopefully if you guys are still in this right now, it's changed your life in some way, and you know it's going to continue doing that. And that's what we're here to do, is share that with other people so they know that their lives can change too. So I have a little challenge for you guys. My challenge is in the next 2 days, and because I want you to do it fast, because the longer you put it off, the less likely you are to do it, right? I want you to share some type of struggle on your page. You can get as deep as you want, so don't feel like you have to like go down deep and dig out like your darkest secret and share that. But share some type of struggle and try to connect how Beachbody has helped you. And then once you've posted it, I want you to share it to the team page just so we can all see it and give you some major shout outs about that. Because I know we've all talked about how we're ready to step outside our comfort zones this year. And I think just doing something, even if it's something small, will really help you get the ball rolling on sharing more information, because we're all great about our workouts and our meal prep and that kind of stuff. But, you know, we want people to know there's more to us and that there's more to this business and this company than just that. So anyway, so that's what I had for you guys. Does anyone have any questions or comments or anything?
That was amazing.
Okay, good. I'm like all hot. Like,
I know.
I have like a lot of public speaking experience, but I still get like,
I do too. Trust me. Even on my own team calls, I get like that. I know exactly what you mean. No, but you did awesome. Like all of that was so good. And it's crazy. Like when you were talking about your story, there is so much of your story that is like my story. It's insane.
Mm-hmm.
Like lost a bunch of weight before your wedding without Beachbody, like on your own. Didn't Brittany, you do that too? Or not necessarily your wedding, but before Beachbody you had, okay, yeah. And then you just were doing it because you wanted to look good on your wedding day. Me too. And then I got pregnant afterwards, so I didn't get back into working out. So it's same thing, right? And then I didn't stick to my meal plan ever, but I was doing the workouts. And like we were supposed to go back to our other job, but because of Beachbody, we got to stay home with our kids. Like that just blew my mind. I can't believe how like similar so much stuff was.
I know.
Gosh, I loved how you were talking about breadcrumbing. You can never hear that enough, because you really have to talk about what you're doing and why you're doing it and your story all the time. Like it sounds so stupid and cliche, but like you're adding new friends to your network every single day. These people don't know your story. So even if these other people who you think are annoyed by it, really, truly, they're watching in the background and are going to be the people coming around like, hey, I've been watching you for 6 months. Like, you motivate me so much. Like, it's crazy. Just, you have to be consistent and you have to go deeper than the just typical picture with your shake or your dinner or whatever. And we're all guilty of that, just getting it up there to get it up there, because God knows how we're all busy. But just keep breadcrumbing and keep on being consistent. I loved when you were talking about sharing your struggle, and it helps to share what you're going through. Like it helps so much, because you're right. Your head starts thinking about other things that you wouldn't even have thought of before. And I just love that. And when you said it also makes it seem like you're like the other people are not alone, you also get to start building a relationship with those people, because they've reached out to you and they're like, wow, I can totally relate to that. And then it's not just, you know what I mean? Like it's not just one conversation. That is the easiest way to build a relationship, because someone messaged you because of your post. So man, That was awesome, Gloria. I mean, I wrote down like 2 pages of notes, and I loved your challenge at the end. That is so exciting. Brittany wrote down some notes too. Awesome. The challenge is exciting. I can't wait to get mine up and share it with the team page. I liked the second part too because I want to see all of your alls. That'll be exciting. Did anyone have any questions for her or comments or anything? Yay, Amber, I'll unmute you here. Okay, Amber, go ahead first.
Hey, Gloria. Okay, so I have noticed, like, you're in Heather's posts and stuff about, like, Heather's about anxiety, and I know you're a very, like, emotional person, and I have really bad anxiety. Like, not even kidding. Like, it's super bad. Like, I thought I was going to have a heart attack today. No lie.
I'm sorry.
And I cannot, like, I've talked to Jen multiple times about how you just cannot connect with personal development. Like, the YouTube is what I've been doing lately because that's the best way for me to actually connect. I've tried reading a book. Like, it just wasn't reaching me. I did the 10X rule, which I do love the 10X rule. Like, 'cause he's so to the point and, like, and that's what I need. But at the same time, I feel like I need something more towards, I'm, like, so soft-hearted, so emotional, and, like, I have so much, like, I want to make sure everything's done. Like, I'm just so anxiety-ridden. Like, I don't know what to do at this point. So I'm like, maybe, what are you doing for personal development?
Well, first of all, I like to try to have, like, a book I think will help with the business. So, like, 10X rule would kind of fall under that. And then I like to have one that I think would, like, help me with, like, the deep stuff. So, like, You Are a Badass is the first one I did. And that's, you can do audiobooks. I have an app called Audible, and it's $15 a month, and you get, like, one free book credit a month. So I look at it as I'm paying $15 a month for a book. And then you can buy other books too. So You Are a Badass is really, like, what first I related to and was a game changer for me. He covers a whole wide range of stuff in that. And then I really like podcasts too. Do you have an iPhone? Yeah, if you go to your podcast app, there's so much free stuff too. I think Brendan Burchard, which I can post his name in the team page, he would probably be really good for you. So would Lori Harder. I can post her name too. And honestly, you can also just go to your podcast and search like overcoming anxiety or help with anxiety, and you'll have all these different podcasts come up that have anxiety in the title of an episode, and you can look through those and try to find something. But I can just, like, if you want, I'll post in the team page just like a list of some of my favorite books and podcasts, because like really just learning to focus on what I can control is what has really helped me with my anxiety, and just learn and accept that there are things outside of my control that I'm just not going to be able to do anything about, and then just trying to control what I can. So I'll post a good list in the team page, and I'm really hard about it too.
That would be awesome. I'm like the queen of anxiety. I call Jen all the time. I'm like, like all the time.
It's really hard. And when I started talking about my anxiety, so many people came out of the woodwork and were messaging me about it. Because, I actually used to go to therapy for it too, which helped me. I would talk to someone one time a week, and it doesn't mean you're crazy to go to therapy. It doesn't mean that you can't do it on your own, but it's always nice to have like a third party who's not involved in any of your situations, listen to what you have to say, and talk with them about it. Like, I was near being medicated, but through I kind of like got just enough where the therapist didn't think I need medication, and then I stopped going. So I still struggled with anxiety, but it wasn't like as bad. And then personal development's really helped me like get further with it. So, always think about that and never be embarrassed if you do need to talk to someone too. Because, sometimes there's only so much you can do on your own,
Well, maybe that's my next step, because
it might be, and there's nothing wrong.
Amber also takes on a shitload of responsibilities. She is running her husband's business, her business, a septic company, plus being a mom, taking care of the house, cooking dinner, cleaning, and doing it all. And I know Joey works his ass off, but like we've talked. Anyways, you take on a fucking lot, and it is, I can only imagine how stressful it can be, but you do your best every day. keep doing the personal development. If those YouTube videos are what you're connecting to, as long as you're doing it, like, I think that's awesome. And I can't wait to see your post about what your favorite podcasts are, because I need to do more podcasts. But I was going to mention, there's a book that is going to be the next book I get, and it's called, where is it? Right here. How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale.
Ooh, that's really good.
And see, I feel like this girl that's been messaging me, she's awesome, man. She's going to be a coach on our team one day. Her name's Maria. And she like goes to door selling solar panels. So it's like exact same thing, except she can't do it from her computer. She has to go knock, which I'm like, okay, that's freaking hard. I bet that's hard. But she was like, you need to get this book. Like, she's like, it's okay. So don't ever criticize or complain when talking to someone, especially if you're criticizing them. Show people honest, sincere appreciation and arouse in other people's eagers and wants. Like, just really good tips. And we talk to so many people. And if you struggle with talking to people and you feel like awkward or out of your comfort zone, like this is going to be some great tips for you to just make friends and have people, you know, drawn to you. So I am getting that book next. I don't even care. I feel pretty comfortable talking to people, but I know I could be better.
Yeah, I've read that book. I actually did like an 8-week Dale Carnegie course when I was at the credit union.
Yes, you told me about that.
I want to go back through all my materials because I kind of half-assed it and I was at a different spot mentally, so I want to do it again.
Oh my God.
But yeah, it's good.
You need to do it, and then we talked about this. You need to do it, and then you need to share it with us.
Blah, blah, blah,
blah, blah, blah. Brittany, what was your question?
Which one? Oh.
Sorry.
Did you both? Oh, so many questions.
Well, first of all, since Amber brought up the anxiety thing, I wanted to mention that I have also suffered with extreme anxiety. Like, I don't know, I was going through, like, I don't even know what it was that happened to me. I was moving, I was starting like a new job or something, and I had like major anxiety spells where like I would wake up in the middle of the night shaking and like, my heart was racing and throwing up, and it was miserable. And like I was going to the doctor, and they almost put me on like mild anxiety pills, and then they tried to put me on something stronger. And I was like, you know, I think this is just temporary. And that was what actually started my weight loss journey. It's because I was feeling like shit, and I started walking and doing my Fitness Pal. And so, and ever since I started doing that and taking control of my life, but I do, you know, I take on quite a bit too, but not as much as Amber. So that could be super stressful because I have a high strung like stress level too. So I totally get it.
No, but I loved how Gloria says, don't minimize your struggles. You know what I mean? Like if you take on some shit, like you're allowed to feel that anxiety and that stress no matter, you know what I mean? Like let yourself feel that.
But my whole thing, what I wanted to say to Gloria was your thing was awesome. I wrote down a lot of notes, and I wanted to ask you how sore you are from doing this program. Because I am like sore from head to toe. I'm like dying.
I don't know. Like, I think we need to get some more weights because the way we have it right now, like, I can't use some of the weights because Sam's using them when I want to use them. So, but I'm definitely feeling it in a lot of places, but I feel like I could be going harder.
Yeah, I've been like, I have a chin-up bar, and I've been trying to do the chin-ups. I can't do them. Like, I cannot.
I need to get the assist band.
Yes. I have the assist band. I can't even do the assist band. I'm like,
I've never done a chin-up my entire life, like ever. That'll be a great post once I fucking do a fucking pull-up. I will say I've never done a fucking pull-up my whole life, and I just did one.
But I also, where did you get the little kit that goes on the door?
Me?
No, Gloria.
I got it on Amazon.
Okay. Because I looked for it at Walmart and so I was like trying to figure out where you get them.
We got one at Walmart. I think it was Walmart that literally it comes off the bar, and so you're at a like incline, just hanging and doing pull-ups upward, and that helped me a lot be able to finally do one. Yeah, it comes off the bar and then like lean back. We've got a minute.
I saw that one.
Yeah, that was awesome. Brittany, did you have a question? Because when
I did real quick, but it's like something we could probably do a side conversation on, just because
everybody smile.
What I relate to is
okay, go ahead.
Is how you said you kind of lost yourself and you adapted to other people. That's what I'm struggling with, is to get out of that mindset. And it's like I put up all these posts and I'm like, man, I just don't feel like that's me. And it's like, what did you do to help you find you?
It was just a lot of personal development, and then really just like looking back at everything I've experienced, because there were a lot of times I liked something, but I was like, oh, everyone likes that, so I don't want to like it does, or, you know, and stuff like that. So it was honestly, and I'm still trying. My thing is like I just want to try different things, and just see what I like I'm listening to all different types of music, and watching different types of like movies and TV, and just really trying to figure out what I really like. And just exposing myself to a lot. And then personal development has just helped me, you know, learn that I don't need to be ashamed of what I like